Hello everyone, we're coming to you from the red carpet premiere of American Wrestler, The Wizard. We're going to talk to the stars and find out what went into making this film. For people who haven't seen this, I haven't seen it either. What is this film really about?
Really, it's about struggle and overcoming the struggle of life and growing up, politics. It's everything that I think as Iranians that we have. I mean, I know a lot of people that have been through it. I've been through it. So it's really just about victory and winning yeah.
And I mean, you're too young to play the mother. They told me you play the mother. Where did you find your motherly things for this role?
Yeah, from my mother and my grandmother and all the women in my life that have been there for me. So it was quite natural, I think, as a woman also.
Well, I've been friends with the producer, Ali Afshar, for 15 years. We both grew up street racing. We're both car guys, and we met because I did my thesis film in film school was about street racing, and Ali saw it and liked it, and he told me, hey, if you write a feature film, I'll get it produced. And so I wrote a feature film, and he did get it produced. It took a little time, but that was Born to Race, and we've been working together ever since. And he always had this idea of doing this movie based on him and his family when they arrived in America from Iran. And me being an immigrant myself, I really latched onto it. I totally got it and really wanted to do this project.
It's an American UFC major name, Randy Couture. Sir, what brings you here to the premiere of this film?
Well, I started in wrestling. I've been a wrestler my whole life, so if you get a chance to see an authentic wrestling movie, I'm excited about it. It's going to be great.
Seen this film?
No, I have not seen it yet. No.
And you're the person to ask, what is the hardest part about wrestling?
The physicality. It's a very physical thing. I wonder how many takes they did for some of these scenes. I'm sure he has a new appreciation for the sport of wrestling now after making this movie.
Okay. We're here with a real rising star, George. How do you say your last name?
Kosturos, George Kosturos.
Thank you very much.
It's Greek, 100% Greek.
California boy, playing in Iran.
Yes.
How do you find your inner Iranian?
Well, oddly enough, Iranian is a lot like Greek culture. We're very similar. So I had some best friends in high school, Peter and Paul Schaff, who are here tonight, who they taught me a lot about the Iranian culture and basically taught me how to do the accent, and so knowing them and being close with them helped a lot for preparing for the role.
And you had like athletic background.
Yeah.
Was it still hard to do this?
It was very hard. I grew up playing, basketball, tennis, football, gymnastics, but never done wrestling before, and by far the hardest sport I've ever had to do in my life. And training for it was brutal. I trained with like local high school kids and also Ali Afshar, the real guy himself, and I learned a lot. And definitely, though, one of the most brutal sports I've ever done.
Now, what is it like to have the real guy on the set around while you're doing him in a way?
Right, it's cool. It was like definitely overwhelming at first because it was like he was right there and I'm playing him, and it was like kind of like, oh my gosh. But after a while, getting to know him, he's such an easy guy to get along with, and I think our scenes turned out great, and I'm just so happy with the movie.
I was going to say, there you have played a lot of characters. Are there ones that you haven't played that you kind of feel like, I wish I played?
Hundreds, absolutely hundreds, yeah. And you know what? You don't know where they are. It's actually not fair in a way to try to make them up or something. Life goes the way it's going to go. There are no accidents. We get there, and what comes your way, it comes your way, and you take what you have and you try to fully realize it as an actor and make the best that you can.
And George, being a young actor, what's he like to work with?
George is wonderful. He threw himself into this right over there, 110%. And a film like this doesn't work unless you do that, unless you throw yourself in 110%. And he's amazing, that young man. Amazing.
How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good. Make sure. Okay, so tell us about what is the core of this film about? What is it about?
Well, it's about an Iranian boy, comes to this country, doesn't have any understanding of the culture or, how he's going to survive, really. Goes to school, and like everybody that goes to school, everything's new for him, and some people pick on him, and some people do this because he's new, different, and he becomes a very successful wrestler. with the help of some other people, and it changes his life, and it's a big success story. It's a beautiful story.
You being a veteran actor and George being fairly new, what do you see in him?
Well, George is a special kid. He's very special. You look for a certain... There's a great man by the name of Stanislavski that taught about acting, right? And of all the things he said the most important ingredient in an actor is stage likability. If he talked today, he'd say film likability. You like him, the camera likes him. That's George.
What is this film about?
I would say it's a love story in two parts. One, love of having a better life, and so as a teenager comes to America looking for a better life, and through hard work and passion, he finds it. Second, he falls in love with a beautiful American girl, and so it makes it a love story with passion and hard work and achievement.
Sounds familiar?
Very much, very much. I mean, I think
It's almost my life story.
I think it's everyone's story. Anybody can relate to that sort of being a fish out of water, you know? Even if you're not an immigrant. I'm not an immigrant, but I can completely relate times in my life where I've been in a situation where I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't feel confident, and you have to dig deep. You have to dig deep and find your own way and succeed in life. And so it's super inspiring. Everyone can relate to this movie.
We're here with the man of the hour. This film is based on his life, Ali Afshar. Ali, is it hard to be in a film about you?
Extremely. It's not hard, it's surreal. Because we shot in the same town, in the same schools, in the same that I was at 30 years ago. So yeah, it was just not only hard, but being the producer, helping write it, and also acting in it. It was surreal, but it was tough. I wouldn't change it for the world. We had a great crew with us, so I wouldn't change it for the world.
Were you also super picky?
Yeah, of course. How can you not? Of course, yeah. But I think that lends itself to make such a great product and have such a great team that we do.
In order to cast someone to play you,
Yeah.
What is it in George that resembles you or brings the essence out?
You know what? It's funny because George was better looking than I was. He was buffer than I was, and I'm like, perfect. He'll do. No, I wasn't as good looking as him. I was a skinnier guy, but he had a heart of gold. He's a genuine, really nice kid, and he's got a big future ahead of him. So we auditioned him 7 times. He came in 7 times, and then we said, awesome, you're done. And he knocked it out of the park.
What is it that you got the 7th time that you didn't get on the 5th?
Other people to say yes. That's all it was. More people had to see him. More of our team had to approve. I liked him from day one.
What was the big challenge, the difficult part of making this film?
18 days, 3 weeks, Oscar winners, Academy Award winners, Golden Globe winners, Bill Fichtner, big cast, period piece, cars, clothes, hair. And that's my real hair you see in the movie. That was the hard stuff. Yeah, making it was very hard. 18 days.